Hello friends, myself Professor Pratik Prakash Kale, Assistant Professor in Civil Engineering Department, J.H. Raisoni Institute of Business Management, Jalgaon. We are here for the lecture on matrix method of structural analysis, in which today we are going to deal with stiffness matrix method. So this is the syllabus which we will be going to cover in this video series. So stiffness matrix method. So fundamental of stiffness matrix, its concept, then formulation of stiffness matrix for the complex problems, then problems based on the stiffness matrix method of analysis of continuous beam and frames. Moving to next, some basic terminology that we have to discuss, in which what is the stiffness matrix method. So before going to the exact method, we should know what exactly the stiffness is. It is defined as the resistance offered by a body against deformation under loading. Means it is the property of body by virtue of which it can resist itself undergoing deformation under loading, and it is generally denoted by K. In other terms, means in the structural analysis terms, we can define the stiffness as the stiffness can be also defined as the force required per unit deformation caused in the member. So mathematically it can be represented as K equal to P, that is force, upon delta, that is deformation, or for moment forces we will use the rotation. So it can be also defined as moment required per unit theta rotation. Okay. Now according to the second definition, if we put delta or theta equal to 1 means unit deformation, then your stiffness will be equal to the force or moment whichever is required at that point. Now what is stiffness matrix method exactly? The stiffness matrix method is basically a displacement method, or we can say that it is an equilibrium method for analyzing statically indeterminate structures. This method is generally preferred when degree of kinematic indeterminacy, that is dk, of the structure is less than the degree of static indeterminacy, that is ds, of the structure. The available unknown displacements at the joints are primary unknown in this method, and the order of the stiffness matrix will solely depends on the available unknown displacements in the structures. Now procedure for solving problem using stiffness matrix method. So step by step we will see each and every point and try to remember this. So first of all, try to find the kinematic indeterminacy of the structure, that is unknown displacements available at joints. Then calculate fixed end moments due to the external loading and represent it as action due to external loading, that is ADL. Then select the unknown displacement. Okay, I am notifying it with u dot d. Okay, unknown displacement, and give the joint number, means provide that joint a ordinate number. Then restrain all the joints and apply selected displacements as unit displacements at selected joints. Then formulate the stiffness matrix and find its elements, that is matrix K. Then solve the stiffness matrix equation. So in stiffness matrix equation we will be having the total forces or total moment required at particular joint, that is total action, is equal to action due to the external loading plus unknown displacement into the stiffness matrix. Okay. So after getting unknown displacements from above, write a slope deflection equation for each member and get the final end moments at that particular joint. So moving to next, we will see some properties of stiffness matrix. So the stiffness matrix is a square symmetric matrix of order n into n, where the n is equal to the available unknown displacements. Means your order of matrix will directly depend upon number of available unknown displacements. Then elements in the stiffness matrix can be denoted by Kij. Okay, there is a suffix ij will be there. Since it is a symmetric matrix and also according to the Maxwell's reciprocal theorem, Kij is equal to the Kji. Okay, there is a relation between non-diagonal elements where I represents the joint where force is required, force or moment, that is force parameter, and J represents the joint where unit displacement is applied. Then it does not exist for unstable structures. Strictly note down this note. It is a non-singular matrix. That is, what do you mean by non-singular matrix? Which means the determinant, if you calculate determinant of this matrix, it will never be equal to 0. Okay. And then Kij will be called as force required or force parameter required at I node or I point due to unit displacement applied at J node or J point. Sign convention used and other important points. If the force parameter required is in the direction of displacement available, then it will be treated as a or taken as a positive. If not, then considered as negative. Means if the force parameter required is in the opposite direction of displacement applied, in that case that stiffness element will be treated as a negative. Then the principal diagonal elements, okay, of the stiffness matrix are always non-zero and always positive, that is Kii, Kjj, Kkk, etc. Okay. For fixed end moments, anti-clockwise moments will be treated as negative, whereas clockwise moments will be considered as positive. Then force parameter to be considered for unknown displacement. If there is unknown displacement is rotation, that is theta, then take moment force as a force parameter. If unknown is delta, that is deformation, then take force P as a force parameter. Now we will try to formulate a stiffness matrix for a simple indeterminate problem. So look step by step. Example 1, to formulate stiffness matrix for given beam. So this is the given beam which is statically indeterminate in nature. So this is a two span continuous beam which is having fixed support at A and simple support at B and C. Each span is of L meters. Then moving to solution. Firstly, try to draw the structure again. Then step 1, follow the step 1 to define dk, that is to find degree of kinematic indeterminacy. So from given beam, we can say that joint B and joint C will have, this is joint B and this is joint C. So these both will have rotational displacements. Means since here is a fixed support, it is restrained in all direction. Therefore, no rotation, no displacement is available at A. Similarly, this joint B, since it is having a simple support, it will have one perpendicular reaction. Okay, so in that case this beam will not have any displacement in this direction, but it can have a rotation over here because it is the property of simple support. It can allow rotation. Similarly at joint C the same reason will be there. So we will get dk equal to 2 in this case, that is rotation at B and rotation at C. Now we will denote this B and C, okay, as a first node and second node. But before that, in our step 2 we will calculate fixed end moments. Since there is no external loading, just we are going to formulate a stiffness matrix. In this problem we have not loaded this beam, so no FEM will be generated. So in third step what we have to do, to give a coordinate numbers. Okay, so we will give one number to joint B and two number to joint C. Okay, so step 4 will be to formulate the stiffness matrix. Since the unknown displacement at B and C are rotational displacements, therefore force parameter required at both the joints should be moment at B MB and moment at C MC. Okay, now restrain all the joints as said earlier and apply a unit rotation at joint B, that is at 1 ordinate. So where theta B is equal to 1. So our structure will rotate like this. Now we have assumed the unknown displacement in clockwise direction. So if we get moments in clockwise direction, then those moment values will be positive, otherwise taken as the negative. So please see figure A, and in this way we will get a first elements like this. So we will be having the elements like this. Whenever there is a rotation at other joint, okay, at one of the joint in the beam, then that joint where the rotation is there will undergo or will have a moment of value 4 ei theta upon L, and the other end of the same beam will be having moment equal to 2 ei upon L. So in this way, since there is a clockwise rotation, and whenever there is a rotation at any joint, the moments developed are always in the direction of the rotation or vice versa. If you apply a moment in a clockwise direction at any joint, it will rotate in a clockwise direction. So there is a 4 ei upon L, 4 ei upon L will be at B, and 2 ei upon L and 2 ei upon L will be at A and C. So from this we will get K11 and K12. Sorry, this will be K21 parameter. So whenever you will apply a unit rotation at joint B, it will give you, that is first at first ordinate, it will give you the first column of stiffness matrix. There is some correction here. Okay, instead of this row, please write this as first column, and this will be your K21, since K12 K21 will be equal. Now applying unit rotation at C, that is at second ordinate, theta C equal to 1. In this case, that rotation will not affect span AB. Okay, so in that case the moments will be generated are like this: 4 ei upon L at C and 2 ei upon L at B, and both will be in a clockwise direction since our rotation is assumed in clockwise direction. So this will give us K22 at point C and K12 at point B. So this is the note, important note. Step B, now write down the stiffness matrix and its order will be equal to 2 by 2. Okay, so 4 elements will be generated: K11, K12, K21, K22. Okay, so from that we can write down the stiffness elements like this. So thank you very much, and we will see one problem of continuous beam using stiffness matrix method in our next lecture. Till that, goodbye and take care.